The impossible discovery. Dr. Elaine Carter had seen anomalies before. Infrared, ghost signals, miscalibrated data, things that turn out to be nothing. But this was impossible. She stared at the JWST readout on her screen, her fingers tightening around her coffee mug. The data stream from the telescope's near-infrared camera, an IR cam, showed something that defied everything they knew about cosmic evolution. Galaxies. Massive galaxies. But the timestamp, 13.5 billion years ago, placed them within the first 300 million years of the universe. That shouldn't be possible. Elaine's voice was steady but urgent as she turned to her colleague, Dr. Raj Patel. Raj, look at this. Raj leaned in, his eyes narrowing as he read the figures. Then his expression shifted from confusion to shock. That has to be an error. Galaxies that size, structured like this? The early universe was supposed to be chaotic. This would mean, Elaine nodded grimly, this would mean everything we know about galaxy formation is wrong. The discovery sent shockwaves through the astronomical community. Within hours, teams across NASA, ESA, and major observatories worldwide poured over the data. The galaxies weren't just massive. They had intricate spiral structures, something that, according to standard cosmology, should have taken billions of years to form. The media caught wind of the anomaly, and soon, headlines flooded the internet. JWST discovers impossible galaxies. Is our understanding of the universe wrong? But then, something even stranger happened. Dr. Kenji Morita, a physicist from the National Astronomical Observatory of Japan, sent an urgent message to the international research team. We've detected anomalous energy signatures in the light spectrum. These galaxies aren't just old. There's something artificial in the signal. The word sent a chill through Elaine. Artificial? That couldn't be right. She ran her own analysis, isolating the anomalous frequency. What she saw made her breath hitch. Within the cosmic microwave background interference, hidden in the ancient light, was a repeating geometric pattern, perfectly symmetrical. A signal. Panic set in among the researchers. This wasn't just an impossible galaxy. It was a message buried in the fabric of space-time itself. Hours later, the inevitable happened. A whistleblower, someone within one of the classified government programs, leaked a document suggesting this wasn't the first time an anomalous signal had been detected. The U.S. and other global powers have been suppressing similar discoveries for decades. Online forums exploded with theories. Was this proof of an ancient civilization? Were the first intelligent beings in the universe not human, but something older, something impossibly advanced? As night fell, Elaine sat alone in the observatory, staring at the signal pattern glowing on her monitor. They had always searched for extraterrestrial life among the stars. But what if they had just found the remnants of a civilization that was here before the stars themselves? And what if they had left a warning? First contact. From the past. The world was still reeling from the discovery when the next revelation came. Dr. Elaine Carter hadn't slept in nearly 30 hours. Neither had anyone else at the JWST research station. The impossible galaxies had already upended everything they thought they knew about cosmology, but the signal hidden within the ancient light, that was something else entirely. And now, they had to decipher part of it. Elaine and Dr. Raj Patel sat in the dimly lit control room, watching as linguist Dr. Hector Alvarez adjusted his headset and leaned into the microphone. A global team of researchers had worked non-stop to analyze the repeating geometric patterns embedded in the ancient galaxy's light emissions. The breakthrough came when Alvarez and his team realized the structure wasn't random. It was mathematical. We're looking at something universal, Alvarez explained, pointing to the screen. Prime numbers, ratios, fundamental constants. This is an engineered transmission, meant to be understood by any species advanced enough to decode it. Elaine's stomach tightened. So what does it say? Alvarez took a breath, then spoke the translated message aloud. We were like you. We made a mistake. Do not follow. Silence filled the room. Raj whispered. What the hell does that mean? Elaine leaned forward, studying the text. The words were chillingly clear. Whoever had sent this message was warning us. About what? Government agencies moved quickly. The UN Space Advisory Committee held an emergency session, while intelligence organizations scrambled to control the spread of information. But it was too late. The message had already leaked. Online, theories exploded. Was this a warning about an ancient cosmic disaster? Evidence of a vanished Type 3 civilization? Or worse, a threat still lurking in the darkness? The message wasn't the only anomaly. As astronomers analyzed the galaxies further, they found something even more disturbing. Regions of space that should have contained stars but were completely empty. Perfectly spherical voids, as if something had erased entire star systems. And then came the final piece of evidence. Dr. Kenji Morita, working with radio astronomers in Japan, isolated a secondary signal embedded in the original transmission. Unlike the first, this wasn't just a warning. It was a distress call. The energy signature suggested it had been sent not once, but continuously repeated over the course of billions of years, an automated beacon, desperately trying to reach anyone who could listen. Whoever they were, Alvarez murmured, they weren't just warning us. They were asking for help. Elaine swallowed hard, and were billions of years too late. The realization settled over them like a suffocating weight. If a civilization powerful enough to send messages across time couldn't save themselves, what chance did humanity have? And if something had destroyed them, was it still out there? The shadow of the destroyer. Elaine Carter knew fear. She had faced the abyss before, gazing at the endless black of space through JWST's lenses. But this was different. This was the kind of fear that settled deep in her bones. The warning, the distress call, the missing stars. Somewhere in the universe, something had wiped out a civilization more ancient than Earth itself. And now, humanity was staring into the darkness, wondering if it was staring back. The theoretical panic. The world's brightest minds gathered in classified meetings, desperately trying to make sense of the discovery. Some argued that the ancient beings had simply died out, natural entropy, war, or some cosmic disaster. But others weren't so sure. The voids, those perfectly spherical dead zones where stars should have been, were unnatural. Dr. Kenji Morita ran an analysis comparing them to known cosmic phenomena. These voids aren't remnants of supernovae or black holes, he explained during a closed-door briefing. They're too precise, too perfect. Elaine's voice was barely above a whisper. It's as if something consumed them. The room fell silent. No one wanted to say it aloud, but the implications were clear. Something was feeding on entire star systems. The government cover-up. World leaders scrambled to control the situation. NASA, ESA, and China's CNSA abruptly halted their public research into the anomaly. The U.S. Department of Defense issued a gag order on astronomers working with JWST. But the truth had already slipped through the cracks. Leaked documents suggested that intelligence agencies had known about similar anomalies for decades. Strange radio bursts, missing stars, signals that had been buried or dismissed as errors. Elaine clenched her fists as she read the reports. They knew. Raj Patel confirmed grimly. And they were too scared to find out more. The probe and the revelation. Humanity couldn't afford to be afraid anymore. A coalition of scientists pushed for action. They proposed sending an unmanned probe, equipped with quantum entanglement technology, to investigate one of the closest voids in real time. It was a risky gamble. If something was out there, the probe could alert it to Earth's existence. But ignorance was worse. The probe launched. Days passed as it traveled beyond the heliosphere, accelerating toward the ancient dead zone. When it arrived, it transmitted its first images back to Earth. Elaine stared at the screen. A colossal, planet-sized structure loomed in the darkness. A vast, mechanical thing, slowly orbiting the ruins of a dead star. Its surface pulsed with eerie, unnatural energy. Then, the probe detected movement. At first, it was subtle. A shift, a reorientation. Then, the horrifying realization. It had noticed them. The probe's transmission flickered. The last image it sent was of an impossible, twisting mass of metallic tendrils stretching toward it, before the feed cut to black. The room was deathly silent. Raj swallowed hard. We weren't just watching it. He exhaled sharply. It was watching us. Humanity's choice. The last image from the probe had been seared into Elaine Carter's mind. A vast, mechanical entity, far beyond anything humanity had ever conceived, had turned toward them. And then the signal had cut out. The destroyer had noticed them. Divided leadership. World leaders met in secret. Their voices hushed but urgent. The question wasn't if humanity was in danger. The question was what to do next. Some, like General Mark Holloway of U.S. Space Command, demanded immediate military action. We need to accelerate weapons development, he argued. Orbital defense systems, kinetic strikes, hell, even nukes in space. If they come, we can't be caught unprepared. Others, like Dr. Raj Patel, urged caution. We don't even know if it's coming. We might have just glimpsed something ancient, something dormant. If we broadcast more signals, we could be drawing attention. Elaine remained silent, watching the debate spiral into chaos. They were arguing about strategy when they didn't even know what they were up against. Then came the most unexpected discovery. A possible escape. Kenji Morita and his team had continued analyzing the data from the voids, searching for any sign of survival. And they had found something. One of the voids had an anomaly, a distant star that shouldn't be there. It was old but stable, surrounded by an artificial structure that appeared intact. Raj stared at the data, stunned. Someone made it out. Elaine's breath caught. A survivor. A remnant of the ancient civilization that had sent the warning. If they had escaped, then maybe humanity still had a chance. The final decision. The world faced a crossroads. Option 1. Prepare for war. Develop weapons, reinforce Earth's defenses, and risk drawing attention to themselves. Option 2. Go silent. Shut down all deep space transmissions and hope they hadn't been fully detected yet. Option 3. Follow the survivors. Send a mission, investigate the surviving star system, and try to understand how one civilization had evaded destruction. Elaine made her choice. As the world debated, as governments fought, she and a small team of scientists made contact with private space exploration companies. A secret mission was launched, a deep space vessel with a handful of humanity's best minds, set to travel toward the last surviving star in the void. The ship, Pathfinder, left Earth under the cover of darkness. Its destination, the last hope of survival. The final transmission. Days later, JWST picked up a faint energy signature, far closer than before. Elaine sat in the observatory, heart pounding. The signal wasn't natural. It wasn't random. Something was moving, and it was coming. As humanity braced for the unknown, one terrifying question remained. Had they waited too long?